Ladies, if intermittent fasting is f***ing up your cortisol and f***ing up your fat loss, got the number one hack for you. You're going to want to listen to this. So if you are a faster, you have, let's go through what fasting is, because I feel like a lot of people show up to my calls and they're like, I do fasting. And it's actually just regular eat. You're just eating regular meals that are throughout the day. Like, you're not fat. I don't know why they think they're fasting. Fasting is a time-restricted period of eating, right? So, for example, the most popular ones are probably 18-6 is the most popular one. So 18 hours fasted, you have a 6-hour feeding window. For example, you can eat from 12 to 6 p.m. You have a 16-8, which is obviously a 16-hour fasting window, and then 8-hour eating window, 20 hours fasting, 4 hours on. There's a lot of different ones that you can kind of use, and obviously there's the full day fast. A full day fast is not an intermittent fast, that is just a fast, okay? So intermittent fasting is the time-restricted eating in that day. So the problem with intermittent fasting is, well, let's kind of back up a little bit actually first, because intermittent fasting, it's a tool in the toolbox. If I took two versions of you listening right now, and version A and version B, version A of you had your food spaced out over 6 meals, and then this one, version B of yourself, fasted, right? Maybe did a 18-6, right? So 18 hours fasted, 6 hours of eating, but they had the same exact meals, the same exact macros, the same exact food type, everything was the same in terms of food. You would see the same exact results. That is what all the research says. There's a million different articles on this. You can look it up. There's nothing magical about intermittent fasting for fat loss, except for the fact that behaviorally, it makes it a lot easier to adhere to your diet because you're making less decisions. You're having 2 or 3 meals versus 5 or 6 meals, right? If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. You're not thinking about food because you have a time-restricted window. You can't even eat during it. It doesn't matter, right? So from a behavioral standpoint, it's very, very good. And we have clients on it because sometimes people just don't like eating breakfast. I get it, right? It's not a one-size-fits-all. The problem is caffeine, okay? So if you're a faster and you have caffeine without any food, well, you're kind of, because if you don't have any buffer with the food, specifically some sort of protein and fiber, your cortisol is going to get blasted way higher than it would be if you had food, okay? So that's the issue, is the cortisol massive spike and then a massive drop. It becomes very hard the rest of the day to regulate. So your cortisol becomes dysregulated the entire day, which from a behavioral standpoint makes it very hard to adhere to your diet for the rest of the day, with ghrelin and leptin hitting you in the face. Your hunger hormones just like, you can't get satiated. Your blood sugar dips massively, right? There's a lot of things that are going to happen to cause more cortisol dysfunction, to cause, if your cortisol dysfunction, your fat oxidation switch turns down a little bit. You start storing more belly fat. Your metabolism slows down. It's not a good thing. You don't want that, okay? Now, the workaround is this. If you're faster, you're like, I need a fast, whatever. L-Theanine, 200 milligrams with your caffeine. That is going to lessen that spike, because L-Theanine is an adaptogen, right? It decreases that cortisol, decreases that spike you're going to get. So if you pair that with your caffeine, and bonus would be a little N-acetylcysteine, 500 milligrams, which is going to boost your dopamine, that's going to take everything down and make it nice and regulated, okay? So the other option you could do, there's a peptide. Don't ask me where to get it, because I'm not going to give you any sources, okay? It's called SELANK, SELANK. Very similar, but more potent than L-Theanine, right? With the L-Theanine, I always talk about how you shouldn't feel supplements. With SELANK, it's peptide, you should feel it. But L-Theanine, if you stack with caffeine, you do it the right way, you should feel very focused and energetic, and you shouldn't feel like, oh my God, and then a huge drop and a huge energy crash, because that's going to cause you to stress eat the rest of the day. It's going to cause you to dopamine hunt. It's not going to be a good situation for you to adhere, and you're going to have to just white knuckle the rest of the day and just like rely on discipline, which you shouldn't be doing. If you're relying on discipline at the end of the day, the rest of your day is something you're doing or not doing throughout the day. Now, that's the hack. That's the workaround, 200 milligrams. Now, which form should you get? L-Theanine, it's a little more bioavailable. I'm kind of majoring in the minors. Free form, L-Theanine is fine. Just make sure if you go to Whole Foods, you don't get the one with green tea, because it obviously is going to give you more energy, and that's not going to do the same thing you need it to. Okay, so stack that L-theanine. Ultimate morning routine. I think I went through it the other day, but probiotics, fasted. Okay, take those 24 ounces of water about 5 minutes after that. Once the water flushes the probiotics into the stomach, then you have your caffeine with your L-theanine and your N-acetylcysteine. N-acetylcysteine will help regulate dopamine, boost it a little bit so you don't get those, again, huge dips. The goal is to naturally stimulate your dopamine. I thought I heard my daughter. So I made a full, by the way, the other day I made a full stress eating blueprint. I had my graphics person mock it up, so I'm not sure if she's completely done with it. So you can grab that. I think I had a question. Can I just ask why you need to swear? Just don't follow me, dude. Is it true not to drink coffee first thing in the morning with food? Yeah, I just went into that. So I hope that helped. Hope Disney. Okay, cool. No other questions. All right, hope this is helpful. Again, if you want that stressing blueprint, I should have it finished already. I'm not sure if my graphics person finished it. But just DM me and I'll make sure I get it to you when I get it to you, when I get it released. So it should be done either last night or today. So hope y'all have a great rest of your Tuesday and rock and roll.